it's David Gibbs at Beaumont Gibbs Estate Agents. Today I want to speak to you about the importance of getting a good solicitor or licensed conveyancer to act for you in the sale of your property or the purchase of a property. Today I've been working from home and I've had the misfortune of trying to get an update for one of my clients. And I've been trying to chase this solicitor down for hours now. They're not returning my phone calls, not returning any of my emails. And of course it makes it extremely stressful for everyone involved. We're at the transaction's end and I need to get an update of where we are in terms of getting the exchange of contracts carried out. And can I get hold of this solicitor? No, I cannot. And it's been like that throughout the whole transaction. So I was just wondering to myself, estate agents generally it's expected when people sell a property that you get 3 estate agents to come out and value it. And I just wondered whether or not people out there get 3 quotes from solicitors to do the same thing. But in my experience, smaller firms tend to work better than large corporate chains. So for example, if you're buying a property through White & Co estate agents and they're a corporate company and they've got White & Co conveyancing services, in my experience, these corporate estate agency and solicitors matchups don't work very well because they've been told that they've got to use their solicitors. I used to work for a corporate company and I was told we've got to recommend the corporate solicitor, and I refused to do so because they gave us so much headaches that, you know, we were getting it in the neck from all our clients, buyers and sellers alike, saying what's going on, and we couldn't get updates because the solicitors were absolutely useless. So I just blankly refused to actually recommend them, and as simple as that. So basically, I just wanted to speak to you just to make sure that when you do get quotes, don't necessarily go for the cheapest quote. Again, there's lots of solicitors online who are saying, oh, you know, cheap conveyancing fees and so forth, but they're cheap for a reason. They tend to work on a mass contact basis in terms of, mass number basis rather. So they work on a high volume, but churn them and burn them, as I call them, and they don't really give a good service, but as long as they get the numbers, that's how they make their money. So they offer a cheap fee on the basis that they get a certain amount of numbers in that they can make a profit. But in the main, in my experience, these solicitors are generally terrible, and you don't tend to speak to the same solicitor either. You tend to deal with different teams. So you might be having a certain team in the morning and then dealing with another team in the afternoon. In the morning, the person may not have written down any notes about what's happened, and if you speak to someone in the afternoon about the same case again, they don't know what's going on because it wasn't them that's dealing with it, it was the person in the AM team. So things like that are extremely annoying and can cause massive delays. I mean, we've had some transactions recently fall through because of the solicitors. They didn't do their jobs properly, and the time elapsed that they had to get the deal through by, and we lost the sale of that property, and everyone, as you can imagine, was distraught. So it's really, really heart-wrenching when this is happening. So, you know, it's so important to get a good solicitor. Now, we're not saying, as an estate agent itself, we work with solicitors, of course, and if you use our solicitors, great, but we don't force it upon you. But the main thing is to get a good solicitor. Now, if you've got friends and family who have used a solicitor and you've got a good recommendation, that's a good basis to start from, at least, because you know that they've had a service from them and, you know, they've had a good experience as well. Look at their recommendations online, or Google reviews and so forth, and see whether or not you've had any nasty reviews on there, or good or bad reviews, and obviously also if had any good reviews as well, because there's always, you know, good and bad reviews with every company, be it ourselves or be it car showrooms and so forth. But you want to make sure in the main, if the main experiences and reviews there are good, probably in the main they're half a decent firm. But you want to make sure that you get, try and get a personal service, try and get an individual solicitor that's going to act for you rather than a big team and you don't really know what's going on, because you get like file openings team, and then once the file openings team get their information, it goes to another team, and then it goes to another team. You know, we've had an incident recently where I think there was about 5 or 6 different teams during the whole transaction, and you just can't get to grips with what's going on. People just don't know what's going on. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, And as you can appreciate, it gets very frustrating. You can probably hear in the tone of my voice actually how frustrating it is, because I've been doing this over 30 years and unfortunately it still goes on. It's like anything, there's good and bad estate agents and there's good and bad solicitors as well. You just want to make sure you get the right one, because trust me, it can make your life hell when it goes wrong and you don't get the service that you need. So just really, again, recapping, do some checking online for reviewing of conveyancing and solicitors. If you've got any family and friends that have actually used the company before and they've had a good service, go with them. Don't shop around and necessarily just go for a cheapest quote. If you get a good service, you get a good feeling about the company, and they're picking up the phones quickly when you ring them up. That's another thing as well. You know, if you ring the company up and they don't answer the phones, that's a big alarm bell sign, because normally that service is going to be the service you're going to get throughout the whole transaction. They don't pick up the phones and they don't answer your emails. So, but yes, obviously, you know, if you want to use a good solicitor, and more often than not, the estate agents, if they're independent estate agents, they'll have a working relationship with solicitors there, and more often than not, you'll get half a decent service from them. But don't feel pressured into using them. Of course, if you get a good solicitor and you want to use them, then go ahead with those, because at the end of the day, our job is to get your sale and purchase through to exchange of contracts and completion. And of course, working with a good solicitor makes our job, and everyone's job, of course, a lot easier. So hopefully this has been a bit of information to you guys that's useful, and I will see you again soon, no doubt. Thanks for watching.